I've learned that not every invitation requires a response, and not every request demands fulfillment. My energy is a limited resource, and I will decide where it goes. I don't owe anyone the version of myself that pleases them. I owe myself the authenticity of being true to who I am, regardless of how it's received. You don't have to explain your choices to anyone. If they truly respect you, they'll understand that your decisions are based on what's best for you. I'm done trying to fit into spaces where I don't belong. My time is valuable, and I'll only invest it where I see growth, respect, and mutual understanding. It's taken years to realize that I don't need to apologize for choosing myself. I've learned that if I don't prioritize my happiness, no one else will. There comes a point when you realize that the only person responsible for your peace is you. And if something or someone threatens that, it's time to walk away. I've stopped allowing the opinions of others to dictate how I feel about myself. I've learned that self-worth comes from within, not from the validation of others. The more I learn to say no, the more I realize how much energy I had been giving away to people who didn't appreciate it. My time is too precious to be wasted. I've learned to stop apologizing for needing space. If someone doesn't respect that, it's not my problem, it's theirs. I don't owe anyone an explanation for my boundaries. If they don't understand or respect them, then maybe they weren't meant to be a part of my life. I've learned to trust my gut and walk away from things that don't serve me. My peace is non-negotiable, and I won't let anyone disturb it. Sometimes, the most empowering thing you can do is simply walk away. I'm no longer afraid to step out of situations that don't contribute to my growth. It's okay to take time for yourself. Self-care isn't selfish. It's necessary for your well-being. If that means saying no to others, so be it. I no longer feel obligated to stay in places or relationships that make me feel small. I've learned to choose myself every single time. I don't owe anyone an explanation for being me. I've stopped trying to fit into molds that weren't made for me. I will stand in my truth unapologetically. People can ask for your time, but that doesn't mean you have to give it. Protect your peace and only share your energy with those who truly deserve it. I've learned that I don't need to prove myself to anyone. My actions speak louder than any explanation I could offer, and if you don't get it, that's not my problem. It's liberating to let go of the guilt that comes with saying no. I'm learning to prioritize my mental health, and if that offends others, so be it. I don't owe anyone a part of my soul if they're not offering the same in return. Relationships should be reciprocal, not draining. My time is mine to spend as I choose. If you expect me to sacrifice my peace for your comfort, you're in for a rude awakening. You don't have to apologize for walking away from things that no longer serve you. There's power in recognizing when something isn't right for you and choosing to move on. I've stopped sacrificing my peace for others' comfort. My mental well-being is too important to be compromised for the sake of someone else's happiness. I no longer feel obligated to explain myself to people who wouldn't even consider doing the same for me. My life, my rules. I've learned that walking away doesn't mean you've failed. It means you've recognized your worth and chosen to move towards something better. I don't owe anyone my time or attention if they're not adding value to my life. I've learned that it's okay to be selective about where I invest myself. I've learned to protect my energy, and that means I can't afford to give it away to people who don't appreciate it. I have to be intentional about who I spend my time with. You can't pour from an empty cup. If someone is taking more than they're giving, it's time to step back and refill your own cup. I'm no longer afraid to walk away from toxic people or situations. I've learned that sometimes the best thing you can do is choose peace over the chaos. I don't need to apologize for needing space to breathe and think. If I need time to reset, then that's exactly what I'll take, and I won't feel bad about it. I've learned that it's okay to say no to people who drain me. My peace is worth more than their discomfort, and I'm not here to make others feel better at the cost of my own well-being. I'm done bending over backwards to make people happy, only to end up unhappy myself. I've learned to prioritize my own happiness, even if it's not what others expect. I don't owe anyone anything, least of all my peace. If someone or something is disturbing that peace, it's time for me to let go. I have the right to define my worth, and I won't let anyone else diminish that. I don't owe anyone anything, least of all my peace of mind. If you're draining my energy, it's time to step away. I've spent too much of my life living for others, trying to meet expectations that weren't even my own. It's time for me to reclaim my life, my choices, and my freedom. When you realize you don't owe anyone an explanation for your decisions, you start living life on your terms. The world will always have something to say, but it's up to you whether you listen. I am not here to meet anyone's needs but my own. I've learned the hard way that I'm responsible for my happiness, not anyone else. Sometimes the best way to protect your peace is to put up boundaries. You don't have to be rude, but you do need to be firm in protecting what's yours. I'm done carrying the weight of everyone else's expectations. My life is mine to live, and no one has the right to make demands on it without my consent. Stop apologizing for saying no. Your time, energy, and heart are precious. Anyone who doesn't respect that doesn't deserve your presence. I don't owe anyone my kindness when they only give me resentment. I'm done sacrificing my peace for the sake of pleasing others. You can't expect me to bend over backwards for people who won't do the same for me. I've learned that my value is not based on how much I give, but on how I protect myself. I've realized that saying no is an act of self-love, and I'm learning to do it without guilt. I don't owe anyone my time or energy if it means sacrificing my own well-being. There comes a point in your life where you have to stop making excuses for the people who don't respect your boundaries. They're the problem, not you. You can't control who comes and goes, but you can control how much access they have to your life. I've learned to protect my space from negativity. I'm no longer afraid to walk away from situations and people that drain me. I've learned that peace is more valuable than a fake sense of connection. My life is my responsibility, and I won't let anyone tell me how to live it. I have the right to choose who I let into my space and who I shut out. I've stopped letting people guilt me into staying in toxic relationships. I don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing my mental health over their comfort. I don't need to explain myself to anyone. I've learned that if someone truly values you, they'll respect your decisions without questioning them. The most liberating feeling is realizing that you don't have to meet everyone's expectations. Your life is yours to live. Don't waste it on trying to satisfy others. When I learned to stop apologizing for taking care of myself, I finally felt free. I don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing my own peace. I'm learning that not everyone is meant to be in my life forever. It's okay to let go of people who no longer serve me or bring me joy. You're allowed to outgrow people and situations. Just because they were once a part of your life doesn't mean they deserve to stay in it forever. I don't owe anyone anything, least of all my time and energy. If you can't respect that, then it's time for me to move on. Sometimes the hardest lesson to learn is that not everyone deserves a place in your life, and that's okay. You don't owe anyone anything. I'm not here to carry the emotional baggage of others. I've learned to focus on my own healing and growth, and I won't apologize for that. The best gift you can give yourself is the freedom to be who you are, unapologetically. Don't let anyone make you feel small or indebted to them. I've stopped trying to please people who don't even appreciate me. Now, I'm focused on cultivating my own happiness and surrounding myself with those who lift me up. You can't let others dictate your self-worth. I've learned to stand tall and say no when I need to, without feeling guilty for taking care of myself. I don't owe anyone an explanation for prioritizing myself. It's taken years to realize that my happiness and peace are my responsibility. There's nothing wrong with protecting your peace. If that means walking away from toxic situations or people, so be it. I choose myself every time. I'm not going to let anyone's drama take away my happiness. I've learned to detach from situations that don't serve my well-being. I don't owe anyone my loyalty if they don't reciprocate it. True relationships are built on mutual respect, and I won't settle for less. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can say is no. You don't owe anyone your time, your energy, or your life if they don't value it. People will try to guilt you into doing things for them, but your time and energy are precious. Don't feel obligated to give them away. I've learned to protect my energy, and that means saying no when it's necessary. You can't pour from an empty cup.